I have a very special exclusive video for you right now because right here I have two of the newest off-road trucks that have been refreshed. The first ever 2027 Toyota Tundra Trail Hunter package and the brand new and refreshed 2027 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. In this video I want to show you both trucks. They're very different in price, so it's not the same thing that Toyota is doing with the Tacomas for TRD Pro and Trail Hunter. There could be between $10,000 or $15,000 difference between the two. So which one should you buy or would you buy? This is why we're doing this video. Let's start right here because this hasn't existed before. So let's take this in. This is the new 2027 Tundra Trail Hunter package. It's not a trim level though. So if you're used to the factory overland trucks from Toyota, we're talking about Tacoma Trail Hunter and the 4Runner Trail Hunter. Those are a little bit more expensive, actually a lot more expensive in their lineup, and have a little bit more gear. This truck is a package that's built up on top of an SR5, which is kind of just one step built above their kind of work truck trim. So this has kind of value in mind. It's a little bit more value conscious. It's probably not going to be super inexpensive, but still, this could be a great kind of blank sheet of canvas for you to build your monstrous Tundra upon. So, of course, it's the CrewMax crew cab, 5.5 foot bed. That's pretty standard crew cab for the Tundra, but then it gets special suspension and special look. So let's start with the wheels and tires. Now, so this has a new kind of a unique design wheel in this bronze. I appreciate it. I think it's good looking. By the way, these trucks, both of them are pre-production, and they're also part of this event in Grand Junction. So there could be some mud, there could be some dirt. These trucks are working very hard, and a lot of journalists and media are testing them. This is a Michelin 265/70 R18. This is the LTX Trail. So, and this is one of my surprises. There are many surprises actually with both of these trucks, but I was expecting a tire that was more aggressive on the Tundra Trail Hunter. So we first saw a concept about 4 years ago, maybe 4.5 years ago at SEMA, where Toyota first introduced us to the Trail Hunter concept, which is an overland truck from the factory from Toyota. And when we saw the Tacoma and the 4Runner, those were kind of like wide track, big beefy tires, big lugs, lots of skid plates, special suspension, very expensive. This is not the same. So this is not a brother to the Tacoma Trail Hunter, it's more of a cousin. But the spirit, I think, is the same. Now, so this tire should be a good all-around tire, but if I was building a truck and using this as a basis, I would probably go for a slightly larger tire and maybe more aggressive tire. But this still has a rear locking differential and shocks. Let's see what we can see over here. Yeah, so we can look down in front of this tire, and this has their latest Old Man Emu shocks. So you can kind of see them up there. There is also the red half shaft and Old Man Emu coilover, and also this skid plate, if you could see that. But the rear differential doesn't have a skid plate. The fuel tank does have a skid plate, so it's not a full, I would say a full protection skid plate package, but at least the front skid plate is very, it's right there. It's very easily visible, and it's right there for the engine and the front of this transmission. The Tacoma Trail Hunter also has a skid for the rear differential. It's a little bit more beefy. Once again, all of that stuff adds cost, and I think Toyota is trying to keep this Tundra Trail Hunter package as affordable as possible. Now, let's talk about powertrain really quick for 2027. Let me pop the hood. Okay. So the powertrain doesn't change. So be it good or bad, the Trail Hunter package SR5 It can be had with both powertrains, either like this 3.4 liter twin turbo V6, 389 horsepower, or the hybrid. The TRD Pro over there in the new honeycomb color is only available as the hybrid with 437 horsepower. So there's quite a bit of horsepower and torque difference, but you can get the same torque and same power by selecting a hybrid underneath the hood of your Trail Hunter package as well. I would keep it maybe this way, because if the point is to save money and use this truck as your own project vehicle that you build up, I would keep it non-hybrid. That's in my opinion. Yes, of course, there is a recall on the engines, some older versions of this previous years. So you still have to think about all that stuff. But I think I would go non-hybrid and save a little bit of money with this truck. Finally, before we go inside, tow points. Look at this, beefy black tow hooks in the front for 2027. Since 2022 through 2026, they didn't have front tow points, and red ones on the TRD Pro. Basically the same design, just different color. And this is a lot more visible actually than any new Tacoma or 4Runner. This new Sequoias also have the same design. And then visually, this front clip on both, all of them get a redesigned front end, where this portion is different from where it was before. This makes the grille look a little smaller. I think it's better looking than the previous iteration. This is basically a facelift, a mid-cycle, midlife facelift for this generation of the Tundra, with once again this section being redesigned, but the headlamp and a lot of the other components stay mostly the same. And then you get new bumper centers with new rigid lights, which is really cool. They can change colors from yellow to white. Let me show you the inside, and then we'll take a look at the Pro. So here's the thing. It's, take a look, cloth seats, right? So this is what I'm talking about. Saving a little bit more money, staying simple. That's pretty nice in my opinion. Now, every 2027 Tundra now gets the big screen. This is the 14-inch display, center screen. Even though if you get an SR work truck or any of the others. So you get this digital gauge cluster. Let me start the engine. Digital gauge cluster. And then let me take the camera. An updated steering wheel with the latest Toyota Safety Sense 4.0. And you can kind of see slightly updated buttons. Oh, it's telling me to buckle up? Come on. I'm not going anywhere. I'm in park. You can kind of see these new buttons and slightly new kind of center section of the steering wheel design. Let me shut this off. And this button is important, the rear locking differential. So you basically have special suspension with Old Man Emu, you have a rear locker, and you have the rest of the truck that's been refreshed a little bit and updated. And pricing is not available yet. Pricing for 2027 Tundras will come out a little bit later this year in the fall, and we'll know more. But the 2026 Toyota Tundra Rally, TRD Rally Edition, is between 63 to 67,000. So this is the price range I'm thinking for this truck. So let's call it 65. Once again, we don't have pricing from Toyota. This is just my educated guess based on what's available right now from Toyota in 2026 model year, and kind of extrapolating that to this package for the, but it could be less actually. It could be in the low 60s. Toyota could surprise us because they're keeping this truck a little bit more simple on the inside with some of the features. So they could surprise us and bring that price down closer to 60 actually than 65. Now let's take a look at the big boy off-road truck TRD Pro. This is the introduction of the new color palette for 2027. This is called Honeycomb. So the new Tundra 2027, the new Tacoma, and the new Sequoia have the same shade of yellow called Honeycomb. Now, The 4Runner gets a different shade called Hot Honey, also yellow, but that's a different video. I'll show you all TRD Pros very, very soon. So it's a separate video, so come back to Old TFL for that. But this is the new color. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, let me know what you think about the Trail Hunter package and also the new color. Not a lot of updates other than that, except a couple of surprises on the inside. But like I was saying, the front fascia is a little bit redesigned and the wheel and tire package is the same as before. Both of these trucks have a 33-inch diameter tire, but this tire is different, not the same. This is a Falcon Wild Peak AT3W, and this is a wider tire. So this is a 285 65 18, and the other tire was a 265 70 R18. So this tire is like over 11 inches wide, where the other tire is like 10.4. Not a huge difference, but this truck would have more flotation over soft surfaces, like maybe sandy areas and such, maybe even over some snow. But this truck is heavier because it's always hybrid. It has the battery system, it has electric motor. Of course, it has more power and torque, but it's also heavier than kind of a base SR5 non-hybrid would be. It still has Fox shocks, but come over here. The functional changes are the shocks. You can kind of see them right there. There is a valve. It's a little bit hard to reach. But this is the new Fox QS3 adjustable shock. So there's 3 settings on each shock. And you can see the skid plates and the anti-sway bar. So it's not electrically controlled. So you don't really push a button to control the suspension inside. You actually have to get a little bit more down and dirty. Get down and change it from soft to firm yourself. But it could be very effective when you do. Isodynamic seats. So this is my first, I know this is not the first truck with this. 2026 trucks also have isodynamic seats, but this is my first Tundra. And I gotta say, I like the comfort. The negative of this seat, those were painted red in the Tacoma, was rear space. The negative was that there was not enough legroom in the back, but that's not a problem here. It's not a problem here. Let me show you. Let me sit behind myself. I'm almost 6'3", and look at this. I have knee space. Lots of it. I mean, still, this seat is configured for me. The only slightly negative is my headroom. Because the panoramic sunroof is here, my headroom is a little bit limited in the back. So my hair basically touches the ceiling. So, but I kind of have a stadium look. I'm overlooking the front seats, and this makes it less claustrophobic because I can see the glass and I can see the environment around me. But I think my favorite place would be either driver or the front passenger, because this works like a hammock basically. It's kind of suspended on 2 points. You can adjust the firmness of this hammock using air. And this is how isodynamic seats for Toyota work. And you can make it a little bit firmer or softer. And it's supposed to, as the truck is bouncing off-road, supposed to kind of cradle you a little bit more even. So that's really cool. And here it doesn't eat away at your legroom, which I think is very important. But the rest of the dashboard and switchgear and four-wheel drive system and drive modes are basically mostly unchanged. There's the latest infotainment system that I can show you later in different videos. And pricing. Now pricing, currently 2026 TRD Pro starts at around $75,000, and with some options it could go a little bit higher. So if that's in the low 60s and this is in the high 70s, like I was saying, there are almost $15,000 of difference. This is my estimation right now between these two trucks. So let me know, which one would you choose? Would you kind of go all in and kind of go this way, maybe change the tires if you wanted to, or would you build this up a little bit more? In theory, the Trail Hunter is a little bit more slow off-roading, slow and steady, long distance travel, versus this, capable of running at faster speeds over rough terrain, in the desert, in the wide open spaces. That's what kind of TRD Pro is good at, versus slow off-roading right here for the trail hunter. So this is the first exclusive video right here, right now. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time at oldtfl.com and tfltruck.com for everything automotive, all the news right there for you. Thank you.